This is my son that's marked with Union Jack on him, and this is Scott, and obviously, my second born. Obviously, these are photos taken a long time ago, and this is me with my sons Mark and Scott. Oh, long time ago. I've forgotten the year. My son Mark is a legal heir to the British Crown after me, and then Scott would be. I don't know if they're alive or dead. I have to go with believing they're alive, or I couldn't live, really. I want to go back to the tape I just did, and I think I'm just going to put Richfield on it. And this will be tape two. This happened at, and I'll reiterate here, at when I was able to get a place to live. It was Section 8 housing, and again, this is my father, King Edward VIII. I have to look for his photo again. What is that right here? History won't tell you this. They had total lies about my father. He did not marry this woman. An imposter did. Wallace Warfield Simpson. Um, the New World Order, which is the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers. Henry Kissinger got into what was done to me here, and the Kennedys. Joe Kennedy was ambassador to Great Britain when they took out my father. Now, why do you think they took him out? Because he was a decent man. And again, I'm just going to show you this. This is George the Sixth illegal, the brother, my uncle, who helped kidnap me and take my father down, his own brother. This is Roosevelt, who sent the Kennedys over there. And I'm going to go on here with what they've done with an illness I had after I wrote the book in Atlanta on mind control and had antifreeze put in me and all that. I've told it on the other tape and previous tapes I've done on YouTube and Facebook. And by the way, the media knew about my kidnapping before I did. And they know totally about the mind control, and that's the reason there's no motive. And they keep saying, what's the motive? Well, they know, the media does. I've taken it. Whether they tell it because the media is controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, and Elizabeth's part of the New World Order with Charles is too. This is where at Richfield, just as at Edinburgh and at Joseph's Way, Joseph's Dream on Joseph's Way in Bedford, that one is Joseph's Way. And Richfield's here in Salem, and it's Salem Roanoke, and Edinburgh's Roanoke. And I'm using this because they're federally funded. Section 8 is bad enough that I have to beg to go here when this woman is living in my home. How many castles? Using my money, and she should be prosecuted, and yet people look up to her, and I don't have my crown, so I'm pretty much done in. Really, not pretty much. But they've used my illness against me, and they blocked my jobs, shut my jobs and places to live. These are Section 8, though, and they should follow the Section 8 guidelines, and that's what I'm showing here, trying to. And I'm going to show it with Richfield. I've put all the other on tapes, and tonight they didn't go up, but they've been on other tapes. She has denied me, and this lady, Sanford, was the manager when I lived there. Now, here she is, Allison Sanford, denying me. And I got in right away at these places before when the law enforcement took me there to get gassed, and I'm allergic to it, and it's torn my body to pieces. My vascular, my kidneys, my lungs. I can't even walk hardly. They should be prosecuted. And here they are. I'm having to go back and beg for a place to stay, and they're lying. When I went there, the law enforcement guy took me there. I'm just using Richfield. This happened at the others. They gassed me, but when I went there, and these people it was already planned, so when I go there with a doctor's letter from the doctor and all that, showing them again that I'm allergic and get deathly ill, they certainly know. So here I am, that they've denied me, and she's used previous abandonment of property and leaving the unit in need of cleaning. Partial security deposit was held to help rectify the unnecessary expense. Now she's saying, if you may, if you wish, respond in writing to this letter or meet with the project manager to discuss it within 14 days. Regardless of whether or not you decide to respond to this notice, you may still exercise other avenues of relief available to you if you believe that you have been discriminated against on basis of race, color, creed, religion, sex, national origin, or handicap. Well, I've been fighting all my life, writing letters, begging when I'm falling down starving and freezing for the law to work for me. Quite frankly, it's because they're criminals. They're breaking the law against me. I was kidnapped. I'm even having to use the wrong name. Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I married to Childers. My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II, legal heir to the British Crown. Can you imagine me going back to this woman, begging her again? It's freezing up here in Roanoke because they broke the law to take me back in, and hopefully I don't have to break another lease because they're gassing me. Now then, what happened here, and I'm using it and asking for a criminal background check suddenly when I've reapplied, you wouldn't get any of the truth on this. You'd get something similar to this. When I went there, they used the chemicals. A woman who lived on the floor I lived on here at Richfield, all this is elderly, HUD, that building I was in. She's a monitor, and I've forgotten her name. It was back in '08, but her and her sister and her church, this was already pre-planned. They had a little bit of furniture. I just had a studio, so you couldn't put much in it. But they brought it in with some pots and pans and linen, and I didn't know then. They should have just told me it was on loan because they knew I was going to leave. This was already put together. I got so sick while I was there. I stayed as long as I could, and I was on the route to the emergency room and all this. And so I think I put that on the other tape. I'm not sure. But that's where I already knew I was allergic to chemicals. But instead of the emergency room, they dropped me off at urgent care. The ambulance did. And a rescue mission, the rescue unit. And it was where there was a doctor who specialized in chemicals. And I didn't get to see him, but the other doctor who saw me, the other doctor that saw me, he was very nice to me, and he said, well, lady, if they don't fix, you're allergic to chemicals, the only thing you can do is move if they don't rectify the situation, because there's no cure for the allergy to chemicals. It's an immune disorder. So they've used that in where I've lived since I've been here. My body and the type of life I've lived has been hell. Now this woman has used, and this is similar to what's been done in everywhere I've lived. So a background check would give you a total lie. You would think I'm the worst human walking. So now she's told a lie and told me that I could come back out here if I cared to in 14 days and go through all this in the middle of winter, and I can hardly get around. And she's lied. This woman was there when the cops went there and arranged all this, and then I go in, and I'm gassed, and they get a little bit of furniture and clothing. I wonder if Elizabeth would use somebody else's clothing. I was so glad to get it. I was freezing and starving, and she's using my money and in my homes. And I'm being gassed and so sick that I have to break the lease. And I go to this very woman, Allison Sanford, who's now denying me and using a lie to do it. What actually happened there was the personal property I left was what the church, it was arranged for them to give me by the woman living there. This was all through the office, and this very woman, Allison, who's denying me and telling a lie. I went to her